As you can see, I'm repping that BMT. No matter where I go, no matter where I be. We'll be rocking it like that, man. I love the fit of this shirt, bro.
Bro, look, I just happened to get off the elevator. Look at it. The BMT shirt on. You know, we representing all the way in Thailand, man.
What's up, y'all? It's the Travel OG, and I gotta do my BMT commercial, man, for my BMT shirt, man. This shirt is so dope, man. It shows off your guns, fits your muscles, gives you room at the bottom for the belly, and then you're repping the BMT brand, man. So make sure y'all pick up that BMT shirt, because it's fire. It looks good. He got them in different colors, and I'm telling y'all, man, the fit, it ain't that cheap. It's a real quality shirt, man. I love it, BMT. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for blessing me with the shirt. And I'll see you on the other side. You dig?
Fellas, don't forget to check out the Black Man Travels merch store where you can purchase BMT t-shirts, tank tops, travel quote tees, and much more. All right, and we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. It's your man BMT in the building. I am currently in Thailand right now. It is about 3 a.m. in the morning. Probably it's going to be 3 p.m. for you guys. But we got a really good show lined up for you today. A pretty lighthearted show. We're going to be discussing some things going on out there in Colombia. And, of course, we're going to discuss some things going on in Thailand. Let me check on in and see who's all in the room in here early. I want to give a shout out to my dude, Yoga in the building. What up, Yoga? What's good with you? We got Tony 5563 in the building. Just I've seen some bros in this space drop their C off in different countries. All right. Global Passport crew, what's going on? We got my dude Jay Clyde in the building. What up, Jay Clyde? We got Lonnie in the building. He says, what up, boss? What's good, family? We are in here, man. We are in here and we are live. Hope all is well with the family. Hope you guys are doing well. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to the Passport Bros group and the Black Man Travels 2.0 group. Let me go ahead and pull that up on the screen. We're cookie for the family. Guys, if you have not already joined the group Passport Bros, we are approaching 10,000 members right now. So if you haven't already joined the group, a lot of good information in the group, man. There's a little back and forth going on, but you will see a lot of information in concerns of travel reports. You'll be up to date on your travel news, all that good stuff within the Passport Bros and the Black Man Travels 2.0 group. So, guys, if you haven't already joined, make sure not only join Passport Bros, that's the bigger group, but also you can join Black Man Travels 2.0. A lot of good information in the group that I do not share on YouTube. All right, guys. All right, we got Jay Clyde. Shout out to my dude, Jay Clyde. He says, for the Falcons beating my 49ers. Appreciate that $5 super chat, Jay Clyde. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm in a good mood today, man. My Falcons finally won a game. They didn't get cheated this time. So shout out to my Atlanta Falcons. All right. Let's see who all in the room before we get this party started. All right. We got Deli said, love the title in this conversation. Yeah, man, it's going to be a good show, man. It's going to be somewhat of a story time show. All right. But it's good news. It's not bad news, so it's a good news thing. All right. All right. We got Beach Bum in the building. What's going on, Beach Bum? All right. So we in here. Pablo Frescobar. That's one of the dopest YouTube names, man. He said, what up, Yoga? What's good? What's good, bro? All right. So we got 69 in the room. Do me a favor, guys, and hit that like button. All right. All right. So before we get to the gist of the story, all right, I know you guys want to hear, the what happened with the guy, quote unquote missing in Colombia. His family put out I guess you want to say a missing report. They was worried about him, but we're gonna get to that in a moment. First and foremost, though, we're going to get to some news real quick before we get started. All right. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick, guys. We got some good news coming out of Colombia right now with the 2-year digital nomad visa. All right. I want to also give a shout out to my dude, Andre from Love Crossing Borders. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to his channel. He covered the story yesterday. This is very good news for my guys that are interested in staying in Colombia for a little bit long term. All right. If you go to Colombia right now, you get 3 months. You can do an extension. You can get an additional 3 months, and it resets at the beginning of the year. Meaning, if you go to Colombia, let's just say in like July or August or something, you spend 5 to 6 months, it resets at the beginning of the year. Or at least it's supposed to. All right. But we got some real good news. Now, keep in mind, Brazil does have a digital nomad as well, but this is like an update. This is something new that they started with the Colombia 2-year digital nomad visa. And I'm going to go over some of the requirements real quick for the guys that might be interested in staying in Colombia long term for, more time. Now, I will say this about the visa. The visa situation next to your health insurance is probably the most important thing you have to do in concerns of living overseas. If I knew what I know now, I would take the time, instead of me going, extension after extension and border runs out here in Thailand, I would have probably went ahead and got the educational visa. All right. Because it's way more convenient than having to go back and forth to immigration every month. Okay. Now, in concerns of South America, they're a little bit more lenient than some of these Asian countries in concerns of having a visa. All right. Most of the time you have to pay like an overstay fee. If you stay a little bit past your 3 months or your 6 months, you have to pay somewhat of a fine, and you might not be able to return back to the country. So the visa situation is very important, guys. It might not seem like it's that big of a deal, but it is important. All right. You don't want to be getting fined. You don't want to get in some type of trouble and they kick you out of the country and you're not prepared to go back to America or something like that. So this is very good news. All right. Let me catch a super chat before I go over this article. Shout out to my boy Bitcoin Bobby in the building. What up, Bitcoin Bobby? We got to do a show soon, man. Shout out to my dude Zoo Travels out there. He just recently left Colombia, man. Shout out to him. You guys make sure to subscribe to his channel as well, man. He has a lot of good travel content, all right, for the family. All right. All right. Well, let me catch the super chat real quick. He said, Brooklyn GQ with a $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that, my bro. He says, Aaron, salute that Patreon video. Yeah, man, I did a real pretty good informational video on the Patreon. If you guys haven't already checked out the Patreon, make sure to check it out. I interviewed a guy with a dispensary, and the title of the video was how much does it cost to open up a dispensary in Thailand? Some of you guys might already know that Thailand marijuana has been decriminalized or something, or it's not illegal. So you can smoke now in Thailand. All right, without any issues. And guys are opening up dispensaries left and right out here. So I interviewed a brother, a black-owned business, who recently opened up a dispensary here in Pattaya, Thailand. A lot of good information. He breaks it down from top to bottom on how to open up a dispensary and all those things you would need to open up a dispensary. All right, it's like a little bit of a gold rush right now. A lot of guys are coming out here and making a lot of money in concerns of opening up dispensaries in Thailand. So if you want to get that information, if you might be interested in that, you can check it out on the Patreon. We also have other videos on the Patreon as well, giving you guys the information in concerns of like buying land in Colombia and all types of places to go in Brazil, like a virtual tour guide. All right. So do me a favor, make sure to check out that Patreon. Appreciate that shout out, Brooklyn GQ. All right. So let's go over this Colombia 2-year digital nomad visa. Once again, I want to give a shout out to Andre from Love Crossing Borders. He did a really detailed video. We're just going to kind of touch on some of the basis of the visa on this video. But if you want to get more details, if you're interested in actually applying for digital nomad visa, it comes out on October 21st or the 22nd. I'm not sure. The information, the requirements, or you can be able to apply for your digital nomad visa. All right. So let's get right to it. Let me just get right to it. All right. So Colombia right here, this article says, favorite digital nomad destination is Colombia, namely Bogota and Medellin. All right. And I will say that in concerns of digital nomad visa, man, Personally, I would prefer to do that in Colombia, because in Brazil, in Rio, unless you got like some really good service or a service provider, the internet is not the best. It's a little janky. And I don't know if you just want to be surfing off your off your hotspot if you actually working online. So Bogota and Medellin has really good fast internet. Thailand has good fast internet as well. So you guys really want to keep that in mind if you do plan on being a digital nomad. If you require to do like videos and Zoom meetings, you want to make sure that they have a good internet connection on where you're staying at. All right. All right. So it says Colombia is one of the first countries in South America to offer a long-term living solution to digital nomads. They joined Brazil and Argentina. All right. So what's digital nomad visa? I know you guys pretty much know what a digital nomad visa. I don't really cover all of that. That's pretty much working online, all right, or doing something in IT or some type of digital entrepreneurship, basically. All right. So let's get right down to the meat of what is going to be required for the Colombian digital nomad visa. All right. Of course, a valid passport. All right. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months when applying for the visa. So if you guys just now getting your passport, man, you might have to wait a few months. You might be able to get around it if you get a lawyer or something, but that's what they're saying. All right. Now, work remotely. You must work as an employee, freelancer, or own a business outside of Colombia. So what they basically mean, guys, is they don't want you taking away any jobs from the locals, all right, in Colombia. So you pretty much have to work online with like an American company, a company back home, basically. All right. Now, the great thing here, this is the dopest part. You only have to earn $684 monthly. All right. Most visas you're gonna have to earn about, maybe, I think Brazil is 1,300 or something US. This is almost half the price. All right. So $684 a month. All right. That is the minimum income requirement. So that lets you know how cheap it is to live in Colombia if the requirement is only $684 a month. Now, I did videos maybe like about a month ago on, can you live in Colombia for less than $1,000 a month? And as you can see, if that minimum requirement is only $684 a month, you can clearly see that you can live within $1,000 a month if you budget accordingly. Of course, it depends on your apartment. You definitely got to do some research on your apartments. You can live kind of on the outskirts a little bit and find you a good place for maybe $300 to $700 a month. All right. All right. So the next thing you're going to need is international health insurance. Okay. Yeah, we go. International health insurance, family. You say you must have health insurance coverage for accidents, maternity, sickness, death, and disabilities. All right. So international health insurance, it's not a big deal, guys. It's not like health insurance in America where you're paying $400-500 a month and they give you, some eye drops at the clinic for $700. It's not like that. All right. International health insurance, I pay, me personally, and I'm in my 40s, I pay $65 a month for international health insurance. Now I have an additional policy as well. All right. And I do have a personal doctor in Colombia and a dentist in Brazil as well. All right. Most of the time I pay out of pocket, but it's not that expensive. You got some really good doctors and clinics in Colombia and Brazil. But do your research, man. Everybody, is at a different level when it concerns the medical insurance. Definitely do your due diligence. If you research, if you're an older guy, if you have some type of ailments, make sure you have your health insurance on point. All right. Even if you got to have maybe two international policies, one might cover more than the other one. All right. All right. So the next thing you're going to need is a letter of employment. All right. It says you must submit a letter written either in English or Spanish from your employer, providing you work remotely. All right. So that's the requirements are pretty easy for Colombia. That's pretty light. Now, I don't know how much it's going to cost. I can't imagine it costing a whole lot of money. All right. I can't imagine, but we don't know for sure. We will find out on October 22nd. So this is good news, guys. This is definitely good news. All right. Colombia pretty much are welcoming in tourists, digital nomads. They want you to stimulate the economy, man. Brazil doing the same thing. Argentina's doing the same thing. Thailand's doing the same thing. They are welcoming in Westerners, all right, that can bring in, money and purchase and have more disposable income to spend in these ritzy little tourist areas. All right. Cool. All right. Let's see who's all in the building. We got Eric Powell, Tyron about to mess it up for all of us. This is LOL. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to that story in a moment. All right, shout out to my boy, it's Dre the Kid. What up, Dre? He said this one came up down here in Colombia with the new 2-year visas. All visas get you a cedula. All right. Digital nomads came up down here in Colombia with the new 2-year visa. All visas get you a cedula. All right. Shout out to Dre. That's good information to know. All right. So somebody said Sao Paulo actually has good Wi-Fi out there in Brazil. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Sao Paulo. All right. You know what, man? I gotta go spend some time in Sao Paulo next time I'm in Brazil, man. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time in Salvador Bahia and Sao Paulo next time I go. It's just hard to be in Brazil without that beach, man. That beach culture in Brazil is amazing. I was talking to my boy Ja Money today, and I was like, man, sometimes I just, every now and then I just be missing that beach in Brazil, bro. It's just, yeah, it's like no other. Everybody that's been to Brazil know about, what goes on the beaches out there. It's the craziest thing in the world. All right. Shout out to Pooh Man 313 in the building. All right. Sao Paulo. He says, I can't risk Rio's Wi-Fi. So everybody's saying Sao Paulo, man. So that's good information to know. That's very good. Shout out to QB Willie B in the building. QB passport flexing. Why Tyron messing up? All right. Let's go ahead and get to the story. All right. We've been here for a little minute. Let's go ahead and get to the story. All right. Somebody said, yeah, bro, I can't imagine not living in Rio. Them beaches are different. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm telling you, the beaches in Rio are legendary. I just put it to you that way. All right. And Brazil, like I say, it does have a visa, digital nomad visa. As a matter of fact, I actually do have it pulled up on the screen, guys. Let me pull this up real quickly. We'll let more people come in the room. So let me go over the Brazil digital nomad visa. All right. This is a little bit different. A little bit more costly than the Colombian digital nomad visa, but it's not bad. It's not bad. All right. And in some cases, I would say Brazil is a tad bit more expensive than Colombia. So I understand why the requirements are a little bit more. All right. So it's similar. Prove your employment status. It says provide a work contract that states that you're either a self-employed, or eligible to work remotely for a foreign company outside of Brazil. So basically, you got to be hired from a company from America in most cases, all right, or Europe or something. Now, their required monthly income is about 1,400 pounds, all right, euros, which is going to be about, I believe that's about 1,365 or something like that in American dollars. So it's almost close to twice as much as the requirement in Colombia, all right? Or you can have $17,000 in your account at the time of your application. All right. And the same thing with the Brazil digital nomad visa, you're going to need international health insurance as well. Like I say, a lot of cats kind of pay out of pocket. You can have our own private doctor. That's what I suggest in Colombia and Brazil, is to have your own, private doctor, and you just pay pay out of pocket. It'd be like $85 to $100, get your checkup. That way, if something is to happen, they can forward all your information, all right, in the native language, in Portuguese or in Spanish to the hospital. They can got your blood type and all that good stuff. So that's my suggestion. All right. Shout out to Gail at Night in the building. I appreciate that. Gail just posted the list of the 300 jobs for hiring online, by the way. So, guys, that's the list. Shout out to Gail. She just posted that. Shout out to Andre once again. He provided that list originally to me, too. So, guys, make sure to check out Andre's channel, because he gives a lot of good information. Like, I just kind of went over it just a little bit to just give you guys kind of an update, because I know some guys are interested in staying long-term in Colombia, in Brazil, and Thailand. All right, so I just kind of glanced over it. But Andre did a real good video, and he really broke it down, all right, out there in Colombia in concerns of applying for your digital nomad visa, all right? Zoo Travel said Rio is a special city. Hey, man, I can talk for hours about Rio. All right, I can talk for hours about Rio. You know, we was talking today, and we was like, man, it's so hard to decide whether you want to go to Brazil, whether you want to go to Colombia, whether you want to go to Thailand, DR, whether you want to go up there to Portugal. You know, you want to go down to Philippines, Cambodia. I mean, I haven't been in the country yet. I did not like. I'm just going to be honest with you. All right. Um, but I mean, it's some major differences in all these countries. But once you get adjusted and you speak just a few little familiar terms in language, and you befriend some of the locals, it just opens up twofold. Like I said, Rio is a hell of a city. All right, it's definitely a special city. All right, shout out to my dude Brandrew in the building. Somebody said that's fair, good looking BMT. Yeah, man. Hey, that's not a lot of money. You know, most Americans are going to make that in probably a week or maybe two. You know, for most of these online jobs, you know, $3-4 a month, something like that. So you can clearly easily get these digital nomad visas. Like I said, they're pretty much welcoming in tourist guys because they really want to stimulate the economy. You got to think that as long as you're not taking any jobs from the local or any businesses from the locals, all right, you're helping spend, more disposable income, and you can afford to go out more and spend money, extra money than most of the time the locals will spend. Because we all know that in the tourist areas, grocery stores, clubs, bars, it costs a whole lot more money than some of these local areas. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the story. I know we got 182 in the room. Guys, do me a favor and hit that like button. All right. Now, I'm not going to go in on dude too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go up and, in on the guy. The good news is, for the most part, before I break this story down, is that he's safe. All right. That's the main thing. That's the good thing, guys, that my man is safe. So I kind of covered up some of his information, man. I think we mentioned a little bit of his first name, but this was a post in the group originally. All right. Just to give you guys some background of what happened. All right. On the 6th, some family members of the guy, put out an APB and they said, hey, man, we haven't heard from Colombia for a vacation, and we haven't heard from him. All right. The family was worried. So guys in the group shared his picture, shared his information. Everybody started looking for him. I tell people all the time, in Colombia, all right, in concerns of Colombia, overseas in general, but especially in Colombia, if we don't hear from you, like after a night of partying or something, you will get one of the homies or somebody to come knock on your door. If you're not answering your phone, we'll do a follow-up. Guys will come to pop up at your spot just to make sure everything's okay. All right. So this was taken kind of seriously because he was gone for like 5-6 days. So let me read this real quick. All right. So this is the guy's name. He said he was missing. None of his friends, and this is his wife, basically. None of his friends nor family have heard from him since Thursday. All right. October 6th. All right. All we know is that he traveled to Colombia in South America for his birthday. If you know anything, all right, if you know anything, please let us know. So we started sharing it in the group, in the travel groups. Some guys was like pretty worried. Some guys kind of knew, like, oh man, he's okay. Me personally, I was a little worried for the guy. All right. But it turns out, all right, hold on 1 second. Always a commercial. Hold on. Messing up my little flow. All right. It turns out, family. Hold on. Let me pull this up. All right.
Richie.
So next one, it says, forgive us for selling off the false alarm. All right. Because that was his wife, and his daughter. All right. Forgive us for the false alarm regarding his safety. Unbeknownst to us, he was beyond safe. All right. He went out the country to celebrate his birthday and to propose to his fiance with the rings he stole from me. So this is where the Tyron part comes in at. All right, family. That's the Tyron part we're talking about. All right. That's a little savage. But let's go. He says, I'm not aware of her existence. I am now aware of her existence. So those that know can stop the whispers. No further questions will be asked and answered regarding myself or my husband-in-law. Humiliated
Barbara, it's Richie.
Or
look, I ain't never coming home no more.
Take it easy.
Nope, I'm too pissed off and disgusted. Thanks again for your concern. Then they posted the picture. I think that's her wedding bands, and that's the chick right there. You know, some people say that's not him. It might be another guy, but that is the chick that they're talking about. All right. So everybody in the group made comments. They was like, "Yo, what the hell, bro? We are worried about you." You know, yes, Gala Night. He took his wife rings and went down to Colombia, disappeared. All right, then picked up his phone and he proposed to a chica out there. All right, so yeah, all right, so he basically pulled one of these moves. Hold on for a second. Hold on, let me pull this up for the family. Hold on. He pulled one of these moves right here, family. Oh, see if you guys can hear that. I know y'all remember this one right here. You know, this is a classic. Hold on. Let me move it out the way. All right, here we go. I know y'all remember this one right here. He pulled one of these moves out there in Colombia, fam. Hold on.
Richie, I think I'm falling in love with you.
Look at the teardrop. He pulled one of these moves. Oh, can you guys hear it?
Yeah, give me Hollycourt, 55377. Hello, it's Daddy. Hey, darling, put Mommy on the phone. Yeah, Barbara, it's Richie. Yeah, look, I ain't never coming home no more. Take it easy.
All right, family. All right. That's all the good fun. The main thing is the guy's okay. People were worried. All right, people were worried about him. But he's fine. He's safe. You know, I don't want to go too in details. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, his own business. The whole purpose of the matter was that people were worried about him. He disappeared. He went down there. I heard a little bit of his background, everything like that. So he's good. Everything is cool. You know, he might have messed up his personal situation back at home. But I mean, this is going to happen more often, in my opinion. Just in my personal opinion, this will happen more and more often. You will see this, unfortunately. Now, I don't suggest. I think it was a bad move on his part. You know, I don't know the status of the relationship. I don't know how long they've been married, so I'm not really covering too much. I don't want to get too much into people's personal business. You know, relationships and family. That's personal, but just in general, I do see this happening a little bit more, in my opinion. All right. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to be honest with you. All right. Colombia is a special place. Ladies, you don't want your man to go to Colombia. All right. All right. It's a special place. It's a very romanticized culture. And women love the men. Men love the women. And the women are very feminine there. All right. And sometimes that guys, you know, I'm going to give you a prime example. I'm going to start out with the ladies first. All right. Then I'll go to the men. You know, women by nature, right? Just the base DNA. I'm not talking about the women that's chasing the bags and wanting the celebrities. I'm not talking about them. I'm just talking about the average woman in general likes a man that's what? Not only a provider, but a man that's maybe good around the house with his hands, you know, does yard work, knows how to cut the grass, maintain the home, fix the cars. Women love guys like that, right? The same way men love traditional women that are cooking, that are maintaining the home. You get off work, hard day of work, your woman rubs your back, she fixes you a meal, a hot, fresh, healthy meal. All right. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then sometimes I think in Western culture, we kind of lose that because everybody's chasing money. Everybody's chasing the bag. The women are busy, the men are busy. And sometimes, after that experience, you kind of lose yourself to a certain degree. And then when you go overseas, all right, especially if you're a man, you go overseas and you kind of meet that, real feminine and polite and respectful woman, and she's doing all these things for you. You might not even know her. yes, she might be putting a little extra sauce on it because, in her mind, ladies, she's trying to take your man. These women don't even care if these guys are married half the time. They just see a man that's going to be a provider. He makes American dollars. He's well. He's put together well. They got them claws in him. All right, because it's a very competitive. Overseas in general, like the only countries where men compete for the women really is going to be America, maybe the UK. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Paris, maybe that Western, hemisphere to a certain degree. That's where the men are kind of simping and competing for the women. Anything outside of that, the women are competing for the men. All right. And it's savage. All right. The women, they're going to be in shape. They're going to be feminine. A lot of times they're going to be submissive, or at least portray themselves to be submissive. Right. And that is like kryptonite to any man. Ladies, the same thing with you. You like guys that are good with their hands. You like guys that, know how to change a tire, little things like that. In general, women love men like that. It's the same thing. All right. Some people say they're happy for him. You say he's a savage. Let's just say, I don't want to get too far in details of the guy. I don't want to put too much of his business out there. The main things is he's safe. People were worried about him. I think he did respond in one of the group chats to say he was okay. He just disappeared for a while. And in Colombia, that's a big thing. People are going to be worried, for the most part. People are going to be very worried, especially in Colombia. All right. All right. So shout out to my dude Zoo Travels in the building. He says, chill out, Super J. He says, bro, met a chick named Sunshine in Medellin. Bro, met a chick named Sunshine. Oh, that's right. Yep. Yeah, man. He certainly looked fire. I mean, she looked good. Like she had a little work back in the back, but she looked good, man. You know what though? I'm gonna tell you, man. A lot of guys, especially guys that are a little older, all men like beautiful, sexy women. But sometimes it's not even about the looks; it's about the energy that these women be giving off, man. All right, and some guys, you got to understand, man. Some guys have never even experienced ever a true feminine woman, a soft-spoken and gentle, caring and nurturing woman, right? Some guys have never even experienced it, right? And they go on vacation, they sneak off or something like that, or they go on a boys' trip or whatever it is that got them out the country initially, all right? They get a sample of it and they just don't look back. They just don't look back. That opens up the doors, right, for communication. And they start communicating online, sneaking around, everything like that. Then they go home, they start arguing with their masculine wife. In some cases, it's just, what I'm saying? It just happens like that sometimes, man. It is what it is. Says nobody did a case study. All right. All right, hold on. I got another super chat. All right. Somebody said, Kwame, hey, Michael, appreciate the $5 super chat, man. He says, keep up the good work, bro. Appreciate that, man. They only use to the woman kings. Add that to them be absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, the women be pretty. I'm not gonna lie. Colombia, man, it's a special situation out there in Colombia. The women are very beautiful. It's probably one of the most, oh man, Rio, Colombia, you got some stallions out there, especially in Colombia. Very, very pretty women. The women in Brazil are, more super in shape. If you like that real in shape, that athlete type of look, they definitely have that in Brazil. Whereas in Colombia, they're in shape too, but they have more of a, softer look to themselves. All right. And it's a workout culture, a gym culture, both in Brazil and in Colombia, by the way. All right. Somebody said I prefer big brains. All right. That's on you. Somebody said tell them BMT. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, it is what it is, fellas. It is what it feels. Like I say, the good thing is it wasn't a bad story. All right, nothing happened to the guy. People were worried about him. I was a little concerned myself because 6 days is a long time to be without a phone in a foreign country or not communicate with anybody back home to let you know that they're doing good. But I think he just got wrapped up in the romance, man. I think he just got wrapped up in romance. The whole taking his wife wedding bands, that's a little tough. That's a little much. I ain't going to call it a dusty move, but hence the title. If this happened and he didn't do that little move, he probably wouldn't be a passport Tyron. But that is some passport Tyron stuff, in my opinion. All right. Somebody said he ran off in the plug twice, calling it. He ain't calling it back. Yeah, man. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. You got a lot of lights. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. We got a life of Kyrie in the building. Once again, we got Bitcoin Bobby in the building. All right. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead. Somebody said Dusty is. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link. If you guys want to come on and talk about, that feminine energy that you experience overseas, you can go ahead and hit a link. But do me a favor. If you can, guys, go ahead and cam up so we can see who we're talking to, man. Guys don't want to type in and just see a talking icon. They can't see, who's behind the icon, man. So if you feel like it, man, hop on in on the panel and we can chop it up. The first thing that came to mind was that scene out of one of my favorite movies, Harlem Nights. A lot of Jews in that movie. All right. We got official G's since 1999. The building says salute to BMT in the chat. Salute to you, bro. All right. Guys, I don't really want to discuss too much things that goes on in a group like that. I see a couple of questions about the group. The group is a private group, so we really don't discuss too much. I know I discussed that little portion. The guy, that was funny, but I don't want to discuss too many things within the group, all right, because it is a private group, and I want to respect everybody's privacy, all right? Somebody said, bros, I'm sleeping on Bogota. However, that experience, I prefer Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is dope. Southeast Asia is definitely a little bit of a hidden gem, in my opinion. Yeah, Harlem Nights was a good movie, Solo. It was. All right, I just dropped the link once again. We got my boy Tobias in the building. What up, Tobias? He's out there in Switzerland, I believe. Says salute to the chat. All right. Also, guys, I'm going to drop a video soon, maybe next couple of days, of another Black-owned business out here in Thailand, the Mahu Bar. I experienced it a couple of days ago. Real good brother out there from the ATL. That's a lot of stuff I like to talk about as far as guys opening up business, opening up dispensaries, opening up bars. I believe the biggest dispensary out here is going to be Black-owned as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a lot of opportunities overseas, man. Your American dollar definitely goes a long way. Yoga, can you do me a favor and cam up for me, my bro? If you can, you can. All right, so somebody asked me, would you ever live in Thailand long term? Man, that's a good question, man. We were discussing this today. Right now I'm kind of in my travel mode. I just want to kind of stay somewhere for 4 or 5 months and kind of keep it moving. But a lot of guys love Thailand, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Thailand is easy, laid back living. I will say that. All right. So I'm gonna welcome Yoga. You just cammed up, bro. What happened?
Yeah, I thought you just wanted to verify it was me. I need to stay cammed up.
Man, if you can, brother, we want to, keep it interesting for the family.
Man,
there we go. There you go.
I'll be landing on November the 1st up in coming over. I'm gonna do now after a little research the other day online. I saw the hotel where Taylor Made was at. After doing a little research, I got a spot up there not too far from Beach Road, and then they got a good review on the beds. And had the pool top, the rooftop pool. I think you know about the Siam. And I'm gonna do 7 days in Pattaya, and I'm gonna go to the it's a Fairtex Muay Thai gym over there, and I'm gonna do 7 days there. Then I'm gonna go down to Phuket to go to Tiger Muay Thai and Dragon Muay Thai and those gyms down on Fitness Street in Phuket. But I'm doing a yoga 30 for 30, 30 days and 30 nights in Thailand.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, bro. I want to welcome Harry. Is that Harrio?
Man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, bro. I want to welcome Harry. Is that
Harry?
Oh yeah, you gotta mute your playback, bro. You gotta mute your playback. Me? What's up, man? That's you, up, bro. I want to welcome Harry. Harry, you gotta mute your playback, bro. Yeah, you probably got another screen open. What's up, man? That's you, up, bro. I want to welcome Harry. I'm gonna let him get it on together. Yeah, you just gotta close out probably another screen. Let me
sometimes y'all guys have so much technical equipment and so advanced that y'all not ready for it. But shouts out to you, Aaron, for that clip that you reran when the Pookie Napoleon called and gave those wild stories about the Pookie travel. So
yeah. O'Shea covered that. Yeah. Shout out to my dude O'Shea. He did a reaction video to that.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so Buddy went low key viral now, so it's out there now.
Yeah, I told her, I say, man, she was correct. You are ghetto. She was absolutely correct. Yeah, I was on that whole thing because I just was like, yeah.
All right, let me catch a super chat real quick. Roger name $10 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, you saw O'Shea's video on passport pookies ruining our reputation overseas. This needs to be checked for real. Mad respect to all the bros that know how to carry themselves and represent us well. Yes, sir, man. Yeah, it's a few, it's dusty guys and all ethnicities, but when you talk to a guy, you try to let him know that, hey man, you kind of playing with your life over here. You got to be careful overseas, man. These people don't care how cool you are. All right. We had Harry. Are you back, Harry? I thought I saw you back coming in. Hold on.
Is it still echo?
All right. We had Harry. Are you back, Harry? You got an echo, man. You got to hold on. Yeah.
Is it still echo?
All right. Hold on. You might have to close out some screens, bro. You might have to close out a few more screens or something. All right, they coming in. We rolling in, bro. We rolling in. All right. We got Global Passport Crew. We got Tobias the Traveler in the building. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
Right. What's good, bro? What's good, my bro? Hey, man, what's going on with these passport Tyrons, Tobias? Tell us what's good, man. I think you might be mute. Yeah, we lost you, bro. We lost you.
No sound.
Okay. Global Passport Crew, you here?
Yep. Can you hear me?
What's going on, my bro? Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
There we go. Let me hit that mute button.
Good, man.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you back. You
okay,
back.
Cool. Yeah, man. That was all. Passport Tyrone's like, when I saw a dude, right, he said he took his woman's ring or something like that. I'm like, come on now, dog. I understand, you met you something better, great, but you gonna go take the last one's ring? Yeah, that's kind of low. If you took the time, you invested that much time into that woman, she did what she had to do, at least at that time, to deserve that. Don't take that from her and give it to somebody else. At least be man enough to be like, yo, this is my new chick. I'm gonna go get her something better because she better, right? Not that don't you giving her he up there recycling rings.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
you know what? Like I say, the biggest problem I had is that his family was worried about him, and he had even us, looking for him and asking questions and everything. Like, I'm like, bro, you can't in Colombia, you can't disappear for even 24 to 48 hours. People gonna get worried about you real quick because it's dangerous out there.
And he was in Bayo, right? And like one of my good friends, right? He was telling me before, he's like, yo, when I was in Colombia, he was like, look, don't go to Bayo, dog. Don't go there. You can get hemmed up in Bayo. And they say, he's saying he's out there. I'm like, oh, there's something, tragic befall him, but he just out there, messing up, not staying in contact with, those that are close to him. I don't think that's right. Like I said, I really don't. I'm like, we should always share, our locations, at least, the Airbnb, the hotel you're staying at, something, check in with your peoples regularly, but just be gone for 6 days. Yeah, that's not a good look. That's irresponsible,
man.
He didn't answer the phone when y'all called him, Aaron?
No, he said something. From what I heard, he said something happened to his phone, so he didn't have a phone. But we all know there's plenty of ways to check in.
He could jump on Facebook.
How long he known this chica right here? How long he known her?
I don't know the whole backstory, bro. I'm not sure. Probably not that long, but I don't know the whole backstory. But real quick, I do got a question. I got a this was for you, Yoga from Highlander 260. And I was going to mention this, but I'm like, I just let him find out on his own. He said, Yoga, I don't know if you're ready for Fairtex because they train super hard and legit UFC fighters scrap there. You want to respond to that?
Can I even jump in before that? Dude, Fairtex, look, people talk about Fairtex Pattaya. That gym been there. It has been there for a long time. They used to have Fairtex in Bangkok also. Like, right. I like this man right here. I know he know his Muay Thai, but most of the real like bigger gyms, like if you go to Sit Song Pinong or Kheo Samade or Kiet Gam Ton, all in Bangkok, they're where the real fight is really going down, right? You had a couple champions, actually quite a few, come out of Fairtex years ago, like Yasun Krai Fairtex, right? But ain't been nothing recently coming out of Fairtex. They just don't.
What to answer the question, I'm in the gym now for whoever that for Highlander 2016. I'm in the gym now, so I'm gonna be doing 30 days straight, no sex, no drinking, no smoking, 6 days a week in the Muay Thai gym. Also a super clean diet with the restaurants that's right down Fitness Street, and so this is an improvement travel journey for me. So I'm looking to take my skill, fighting skill, to the highest level. So I'm gonna be giving it max effort to the highest level and see where I'm at from day 1 to day 30. I'm gonna get my bio metrics, my weight. They're gonna do blood work, all of that. And I'm gonna see where I'm at when I first get there at the gym until day 30. So I'm gonna be pushing it to the max, looking to gain muscle, gain speed, strength, endurance. So, and I'll be highlighting everything on YouTube. So it's gonna be that type of trip for me. And then after that 30-day experience and monk mode, then I'll stay another 10 days and have fun up until it's like 45 days I can stay there before I have to make my border run.
Is where you live hot like Thailand is? That's another thing, because
I've trained in DR, boxed in DR, heavy, in the middle of the day, noon time. So and also in Miami, in the boxing gyms in Miami. So I know that humidity, but I'm prepared for it. I'll be getting making sure I get 8 hours of sleep. Everything is going to be measured and strategic. So I'll be making sure I'm prepared and have my electrolyte drinks, all of that to be and make sure I have my travelers insurance also. So I won't be over cramping or anything, get shocked to that humidity over there in those outdoor gyms.
We say this now, but when you get there, you'll find out, dog. I was in Thailand doing Muay Thai in 2004. A lot of cats come over and they're talking about, oh, I'm gonna do this, 6 days a week. Your body, like you'll progress into twice a day, right? Because you got to make the big run in the morning. That's going to be between 4 and 6 miles, sometimes 7 miles. Then you're going to run another 3 miles in the afternoon. You got 3 miles, or you got another 2 hours of training. You got pads. You got bomb, which is standing grappling. You got a whole bunch of shadow. You have 50 rounds of just kicks. I mean, it's tough.
And I'm going to conquer it. That's why I'm going in monk mode, because of. Now you see why I'm practicing monk mode while I'm going. No drinking, no smoking, no sex. And I will only be going out filming the nightlife only on the weekends when I'm not in the gym. Other than that, I'll be getting my full 8 hours of sleep, because it's such a massive thing to do in that type of climate on the other side of the world, and to the standard that traditional Muay Thai train, the traditional Thai standard. I want to be how they are in their ranks, like American football. I want to really go and get into their ranks and get really see and push myself to that physical and mental limit.
Are you running now?
Salute to you, Yoga, because I see them guys in the morning when I be walking and running.
I'm running the Chattahoochee River in the mountainous area. I'm doing mountain sprints. I'm in the gym now, so I'm doing about 4 round traditional Western boxing now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Salute to you, bro. Like I said, salute to you.
What gym would you suggest, since you've been there before?
My gym that I train at in Thailand, right, or when I was training at, it's called Kiet Gam Ton, And Kiet Gumton, you know, has had a number of champions. Actually, the last big champion we had name was not Anawat. He came from Kyeosan Lit. It was Nopalat. Nopalat Kiet Gumton. Nopalat was, this was like an 05, 06.
Pattaya or Phuket?
Neither. Bangkok.
Yeah, okay.
The real gems are not really found, right? Real champions aren't found in Pattaya, or in Phuket. They're found in Bangkok, or if you go to Northeast Thailand, to Isan, right, where they really don't have the prettiness. Just like when you go to a real boxing gym in the States, it's not going to be, you know, the UFC type boxing gym where you see a whole bunch of girls around hitting the bags. Nah, it's, look, the blood, sweat, and tears is on these bags. The bags is old. The ring is worn, right? That's the type of gyms you're going to get in Bangkok, or even like in Northeast Thailand.
Who is this in the comments? What did they say? Big Boss says yoga. Say no sex, wet. Wait till you get over there.
Yeah, wait till you get to Thailand.
That's why it's gonna be a test of my it's gonna be a spiritual test. And I'm gonna be.
Don't come out with me then, bro. You stay away from
Well, what I'm gonna do is the first 30 days, I'm gonna be on my Muay Thai monk journey, and focusing on me and bettering me and my nutrition and my body and my skills. And then the last 15 days, I'm gonna, you know, regular kick it, enjoy everything, and move around even more. On the weekends, I'm definitely gonna be going to those different islands down off of Phuket though, and touring those during the weekends. So yes, it'll be a monk mode trip the first 30 days.
Hey, watch them kicks to the face, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. Watch them kicks to the face.
I had a headgear on.
Shout out to Holler in 2016 with the $5 super J. He says Tobias is legit. He definitely know what's up. Yeah, Tobias is a veteran traveler, man. He be putting me on all types of information in the game. Make sure you guys check out his channel too. He has a real good channel.
I gotta jump real quick, fellas. If you back on in a bit, I'll jump back on.
All right, peace, bro.
All right.
Appreciate you checking in. All right, we got Global Passport, man. You been quiet over there. What's good, bro? You good?
Letting you guys talk, man.
Okay.
Yoga. Good luck with that, man. That is like some serious training. I did a little bit of Muay Thai and just in the local gyms around here, and it's brutal, man. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
It is. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I was like, hey, man, you know, if you on your journey, do your thing, bro.
Well, you know, if how I train now, you see where I'm at now, then you say, okay, that's something he can. That's obtainable. And I'm gonna give myself anything that we're doing for 30 days. We know that becomes a habit, so it becomes your action, becomes the existence. So to say I'm serious about Muay Thai, I need to stop everything and give it full attention. And I'm gonna go to where it originated from and learn from some of the best in 30 days. And so I'll be able to legitly put that. It's a bucket list thing. Put that in my it's a learning journey, but I'll be able to put it on my bucket list, and that's something I actively be doing after going in for 30 days in a row. It becomes a habit.
Okay. That Global Passport. You're the brother that's in Israel, right? He has experience with Israel.
I lived in Israel for about 3 years. I'm back in the States right now. I got a trip to Jordan in December, and I'll be back here for a little bit, and then I'm planning a trip either to Thailand or Singapore, one of the two.
Okay. And I think I've met a few. I haven't really met too many people from Israel, man. Is it like a conservative culture? Is it laid back? What's going on out there?
It's conservative because of the religious context of it. Hebrew and Arab and Islam and stuff like that. It's pretty chill. I mean, with Islam, it's kind of interesting. You have those that are religious that wear the hijab and all that stuff, and then you got those that wear the Daisy Dukes. So, so you get that nice little mix and stuff. But it's a pretty conservative country. But the people that I met, you know, the women that I met through school, they were from different countries like Germany, Italy, Britain, Thailand, Singapore, Brazil, Colombia, you know, just a whole gamut here and there.
Okay. And from your experience over there in Israel, are the women kind of open to dating foreigners?
If you're talking about the nationals, Well, see, here's the thing. Some people go over there and they get citizenship over there. It was what they call aliyat, which is Hebrew for immigration. And some people, they're just American citizens. They have dual citizenship. Or Canadians, they have dual citizenship. So they're going to mix and mingle with whoever. Some of them are more attracted to the Israeli men, which that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, they'll date whatever, but it's not like a dating scene like Thailand or Colombia or Brazil.
Okay. All right, I want to catch this comment by Gail at night. She says she had to wear what's that? Abaya? Is that how you pronounce it? Abaya? You know what that is? Abaya. Okay. In Saudi Arabia, but okay.
Yeah,
but didn't have to wear the full garb since I'm an American citizen and Muslim is not my religion. Okay.
Yeah, she just.
So are you familiar with? Okay.
Yeah, she just basically had to cover up her head because there's different styles of this. The headdress that women wear. There's the full burqa, which is the full cover up. Which is an interesting story about that because actually, when it first came out, it was meant to be more of a royalty. You know, like Cinderella, when you have the dress, it's a lot of, that's what it's like in Arab countries, but it's now kind of taken more of an oppressive, super conservative, super strict conservative thing. But the Palestinian women, they had wrapped up, you know, and that's, abaya is probably one of the terminologies because it's different in different countries and stuff. But, you know, they get more as, they, you know, depending on the country you go to, they're going to be different as far as their association with foreign men. It just differs from different countries.
Okay. I got a comment by Nate here. He says, nightlife is fire in Israel, some of the largest and best nightclubs in the world with some great music. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 50 Cent. Yeah, 50 Cent was just recently there about a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,
funny, man, we just don't hear every time we hear about Israel. We think about the fighting and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't never hear anything.
Yeah, terrorism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there is a good scene out there. I mean, there is a club scene. Like there's like on when they have the Shabbat, which is on sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. You know, I go down to the beach and they got club music banging left and right. So there's pretty much of a scene. It's pretty conservative, you know, as far as like I think I said this last time when I was on your show. It's like it's kind of cliquish. You know, either you accept it or not. It's one of those things. I think going to Thailand or Brazil and stuff like that, it's a much better option for guys who want to go overseas.
Okay, and I got another question here by Xavier Lancaster. He says, if bros become Jewish tomorrow, we can get an Israeli passport. I believe that's what you said. I guess you're talking about the last stream we did.
No, basically what it is, it's people converting over to Judaism so they can get citizenship. And then once you get citizenship, you get the Israeli passport. But that's just a whole conversion thing, and I don't particularly want to get too much into that because I know it, but not too much of it. Because I'm kind of want to know it from the Arabic side, because basically they are called Israeli Arabs. So it's very, very conflict, and there's a lot of issues and controversies involved in the immigration process and all that stuff. So that's not a place I would go look for women, although they got some very beautiful ass Israeli women and Palestinian women. Between the two, I think the Palestinian women pretty much more sexier.
So what brought you? I know it's just a little bit off the subject, but at hand. But you know, I'm so interested in because I don't know too much information about that area, like the Middle East. But what brought you over there to the Middle East initially, bro?
I went to school over there. I went to Tel Aviv University. They had an international program. I decided to get my second degree over there since my GI Bill would pay for it. So I was like, I didn't want the GI Bill to expire. So I decided to use it and go overseas and get into Middle Eastern studies. figuring out what the hell's going on in that region, because I was former Army and I got deployed to Iraq years ago, and I always wondered what was going on, what's this conflict and stuff going on. So,
Okay, that's interesting, man. That's very interesting.
But the cool thing about it is, if you're in Israel, the flights going over to Europe are cheap, super cheap. We're talking, I've seen flights going from Israel to Italy for $300 round trip. Super cheap.
Okay.
How's the crime there?
The crime's starting to go up. Because after COVID, there's been an economic issue and stuff like that. Crimes was going up. Terrorism, unfortunately, is starting to reap its head. I was gonna plan on going over. I'm still debating it, but my Jordan trip, since Jordan's right next door to Israel, I was thinking about spending 2 days in Israel to, go visit some old friends and take some video for the YouTube channel. I'm still debating that because the issue with the terrorism has my concern. Yeah.
Now, do you have I don't see you have a YouTube channel. Do you cover all this on your YouTube channel? Like, are you doing like travel vlogs or something like that?
Travel vlogs is going to be the thing is going to be the first thing I'm going to start in December. But all the stuff I have on there right now is tips and tricks on how to get low airfare. We talk about crime and terrorism. We talk about what else? We talk about being an expat, how I would do it since I lived overseas. Just dropped a video on using loans to pay for your flights.
Okay.
A bunch of other stuff. There's various options out there, and I just want to make it cheap for everybody to look at, go to my channel, look at these ideas and try them, because I've saved, like this trip to Jordan, I originally was at $900. I shaved it down to about $223. I mean, no, it's not $223, excuse me, $723. I dropped the price down to that for the flight. The hotels are going to probably run me about, for the whole time I'm going to be there, about $200. So it's, it's tips and tricks like that so people can go overseas, like Thailand. I've seen flights to Bangkok for about $800. About around the March, April timeframe. With other things that I have in my arsenal, as far as my, collecting points on my credit cards and stuff, I can drive that down further to maybe about $500-$600, depending on how many points I accumulate. And that's one of the things I talk about, points and miles and stuff like that. If you got a credit card, use that, but be sure you pay off the debt and keep the card debt free. And when all the points you have accumulated, apply those points to your travels. You have to, like for me, I got to go through Chase, and Chase has their ultimate rewards portal. So I have to book all my flights through there to apply my points so I can drive the price down.
Okay. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah. We got to set up an interview soon, bro, because you're giving us a lot of good information. We got to do an interview soon.
Yeah, because I know everybody wants to go over there. Everybody wants to be an expat. And, talked about the digital nomad thing. If you're going to go over there, but you're going to go there for cheap, And if you want to go there on business class, fine. We can try to make that cheap as well. I'm starting to learn that when the business class and first class, how to get those prices down.
Okay. Yeah, we got to do an interview. This will be my last question about Israel, but how is the total overall infrastructure out there? Is it good? Is it westernized?
I can say the water sucks. I would always buy bottled water, because their pipeline, they haven't changed since they built the city. Homes, apartments, they're way overpriced. Food's good. They got some good food up there. As far as their own food, but they try to do ethnic food. Ugh. McDonald's over there, wow. Their freaking hamburgers are big. They're bigger than ours. So you know, you think you can get through a one burger and have Israel, no, they're huge. Transportation.
We might have lost him a little bit. There you go.
They got a McDonald's in Israel.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We got Burger King, got Domino's, we got Pizza Hut. We got that stuff there. We got movie theaters. Like I watch, you know, when the Avengers movies came, when Captain Marvel came out, I was watching it in Israel, and all in English.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
that's good to hear, man.
But
and yoga, man. Tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel, bro. I see you say you're doing a journey. You're gonna record this journey.
Yeah, I hadn't started it yet, the YouTube channel, but it's gonna start when I take this trip in a couple weeks over to Thailand. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm back. I froze a little bit on my phone, but to get back to the topic of the actual show today, it is very when you're coming from a frustrated situation in the U.S. or frustrated relationship, and you go somewhere and you see the overwhelming attention and the difference in the culture, how it's more traditional as far as the gender roles and the family roles, it can be intoxicating. It can blow you away. And I think for a lot of brothers that's watching and looking back on the playback that hadn't traveled like this before to Thailand or Brazil or the DR, Colombia, outside of the country, it really is a feel. It's a feeling that it's a feeling along with seeing the technical things of the gender role. It's like it's almost like something that we've been hearing about. Oh, it's not like in your grandparents' days. It's not like when your grandmother was here. These women are not like your great grandmother and this and that. And then you go to a culture and you see young women behaving like these myths or stories that we hear about how our great grandmothers was and how the country used to be, how the U.S. used to be. And then you go somewhere and you actually see that, and you see it. And so it's like leaving the planet almost. And and it has some guys that go deep in their pockets and start going in their pockets and never stop. And they feel like they can pay for it, or if they pay the woman, she'll always be with them. And that's when you see guys doing things like buying houses, apartments. In the first month, they go somewhere, go out the country, and get exposed to feminine women in a traditional family setting and the culture. So a lot of guys, what you need to do is, if it's going to be your first time, what you need to do is treat it like you got a big, large lump sum of money. Don't make any large purchases in the first 30 days because your adrenaline is going to be an adrenaline rush to be free from the shackles of the culture and the mental matrix in the United States. And we see the ones that they make a big purchase from a relationship standpoint, emotional standpoint. And they leave the U.S. and they go and see these traditional settings and see the women and how the families are. And next thing you know, they feel like, hey, I can buy a villa, I can buy her apartment, I can do this, I can do that. And we see it in this example that you gave. The guy left and just didn't even talk to anybody, said his phone was messed up, and then he gave the wedding ring from the old woman in the U.S. to the Colombian girl. And no verification on how long he known the woman. But I've seen things with my own eyes in the Dominican Republic, guys buying Honda passports for a Dominican chick in apartments. And the Honda passport in the DR is like a Mercedes Jeep in the U.S., just to let everybody know from how they look at it in their culture. So
you know what, man? I try to tell guys to kind of like I see it all the time too. And I tell them like, man, slow down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, slow down a little bit. Don't jump and commit to a woman you barely know. I understand she's giving off the energy that you might not be so familiar with, but you know you love it. But slow down a little bit. But guys some guys have never experienced it, man. They just go full face forward.
And that's dangerous. For the guys that never experienced that traditional femininity and the traditional role settings of man and woman, it can blind you. It can be just like being in a casino. So like I said, you don't want to make any big purchases. your first 30 days and move that way. But it's gonna be hard. It's gonna make you shift. It's gonna require you to shift your life and to shift your thinking once you're exposed to it and you go back home to the US. So it's gonna change you in that way, and it's gonna enhance because you're gonna be looking at. It's gonna give you spark business ideas of how you can have that life all the time, or how you can have that life more of the time. So it's gonna spark business ideas. You're gonna start strategizing because you're gonna want more of that, and you're gonna start looking at ways and maybe can you bring it back to the US? Can you be there more? And it's gonna cause you to research more. So I would say take the energy that you guys. But you want to splurge and get a villa and buy a house and apartment in these places with these traditional women, very feminine women. Take that energy and use that energy the first 30 days and get you a Thai teacher, language teacher, a Spanish teacher, a Portuguese teacher, and take that first 30 days and put that energy that you want to splurge on a woman and being excited to be in that culture. Put some of that energy and focus it on getting technical, learning the language and writing the language.
Yeah, and just to follow up what he was saying about the femininity, even in Palestinian women, I had a friend of mine's. I went to go retreat because I had left my AirPods over there, and we're sitting down just having a conversation. She was just like, "Do you want something to eat?" And I was like, "No, I'm fine." She's like, "I feel like I got to give you something to eat," you know. And she was just like, "I was like, no, you're good, you're good, you're good." She goes in the fridge and brings out like cheese and crackers and stuff like that and gives it to me. It's like I didn't want it, but that's their nature. Their nature is to be feminine and to take care of the men. I mean, that's the thing guys don't understand. And I totally agree with yoga. It's like, don't go out there flexing and stuff like that. It's a shock that's hitting to your system. You gotta understand a lot more stuff that goes behind that femininity because we're not used to that stuff here in the United States. We're not.
Very facts. Big Boss Real talking in the building. He says it's like a time machine. It's like going back in time. Very true.
Yes,
but it is. You know what? I will say this though, like just like they're traditional women, you have to be more so a traditional man. Meaning, in most cases, you're gonna have to foot all the bills. All right, you got to be the sole provider for her. That's something I've seen guys struggle with sometimes. Like even in Colombia, guys can say, "Oh man, I'm getting tired of paying everything. You know, I gotta pay for the Uber her here. We gotta pay. I gotta go out." Some women want allowances. You know, they want some monthly if they don't work. You know, it's different rules. You know, it really is like more of a traditional relationship. And some guys might be more used to the corporate wife or women that can bring some type of finances to the table. Now that what comes along with that, all right, what comes along with that can be roles being crossed. It can be you'll get issues sometimes. You know, you'll have a back and forth because you got two bosses in the family. There's only supposed to be one boss, all right, in a lot of cases. So it's just something you got to get used to. You know, you have to prepare your mind to being in a more traditional relationship in most cases. You know, even if some of these women work, they're not going to make nowhere near the type of money that you make. So they're going to expect for you to foot all the bills.
Aaron, a lot of guys.
I got my guy here. I got my guy here. All right.
What's up, Andre?
The man, the myth, the legend. What up, Andre?
What's up, fellas?
I was mentioning you earlier when I covered the Colombian visas, man. I shout out your channel.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for all the guys that are thinking about doing it. And I'm actually glad that you guys are actually, especially this segment of your broadcast, talking about the be careful part in regards to your actions, man. You guys are 100% correct. I was kind of just talking about it in a humorous way last night, saying to some of you dudes, you don't know how to act right with a 90-day visa. Can you imagine somebody giving you a 2-year visa? Some of you dudes will mess your life up month 9. So if you're going to be serious about the visa, make sure that you are doing some of the suggestions that you gentlemen are making, as far as don't allow yourself to be over sensitized by A, the beauty, B, the femininity, C, the cost of living. That's another thing that blows guys away that they've never experienced. To be able to acquire some of the same things that we have in the United States at a fraction of the price. That's another thing. You look like, wait a minute, but in the States, this apartment would cost blah, 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 blah. And so that's another thing that causes people to move too fast when it comes to relocating to a country because of the cost of living, not because they can relate to that country, not because they understand that country or those people, but just because the cost of living is so expensive in many aspects. They make the mistake of moving there, and they're not prepared to either be there or prepared to accept what's a part of the culture. Just like you were saying, Aaron, in regards to if you're in a relationship, and I give you a perfect example. Let me not just ramble. When I got with Andrea, my wife is a tax accountant here. She does very, very well, but she still gets paid in Colombian pesos. Mm-hmm. So with me, as soon as I came to the table, making US dollars was not a fair fight. So I already knew that I have to accept, as you were saying, Aaron, the breadwinner position. Because if you want traditional women, then you have to be ready to become a traditional man. And I'm not talking about Pookies and Ray Rays and Western Union Poppies. I'm talking about if you're going to be in a serious situation, one of the things you're going to have to admit, even if that person is a head nurse or a doctor, she still can compete with you on a regular month. Because the average doctor makes like $6,500 a month, and many of you men are making on average between $4,000 to $6,000 a month. So she can't even compete with you. She has to be a doctor or an attorney. I mean, somebody told me one day, they said, "Do you realize that you make Colombian senator money?" And I didn't think about it. But they were like, "Man, you make the same amount of money that a Colombian senator would make." And so you have to be ready to walk in that traditional role and say, okay, I don't expect my wife to pay to be 50-50. That would be foolish because the fight is not fair. I mean, it's not fair. So with her having pesos and me having dollars, but that still doesn't give me the right to use that as a power play. That's another thing that we have to be ready for. Just because now you're in a position where it's not a 50-50 or it doesn't have to be 50-50 doesn't mean that you have to treat her like any less than what you're supposed to treat a woman in regards to being a traditional man.
Okay, now I want to welcome David to the show too.
Shout out to Dave.
Andre, real quick.
Man?
What's good, bro? Are you familiar about the guy disappearing in Colombia for like 6 days and he had
I remember that story. I saw that story.
Okay, what do you think about that, man? My man just going out there and just disappearing and taking his wife's wedding rings. I mean, have you ever heard something like that before?
When you hear all type of stories when it comes to Colombia, dude. Remember a couple years ago, about good 10 years ago, there was the governor of North Carolina or South Carolina came up missing. They asking his wife, they asking his kids, they asking everybody. Have you seen the governor? Have you seen the governor? Asking security, everything. Nobody could find him for days. Where was he? Having a ball in South America. So yes, true story. So
I heard that story.
If a governor can disappear on stupidity, can you just imagine the average everyday guy? And I think that is, first of all, the story and the missing person situation was written by his ex-wife. So you know how that can be. Then she put out the situation, said he took my ring. But if you look at the photos with him and the girl, I never saw a ring on the girl's finger. Now, one photo do you find a picture of the girl that's Colombian with a ring, any type of ring on her finger. But yet the girl who put out the APB, the ex-wife, said that, he just took my ring and he did this and that. But let's say it's all true. The fact that the guy actually is foolish enough to, fall for one of the first people that you meet, and you put a ring on that person's finger. That goes to show that something's wrong with some of these dudes that's coming down here.
Yeah, don't do that, fellas. Don't do that. I didn't do that when I first got to Colombia, bearing kid with my girl. I did something similar.
I want to ask Andre a question, if I could.
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
Yes. What is the perception right now with now that we have this passport bro movement, what is the perception amongst the Colombian women as far as guys coming over to date or just come over, to try to be expats and stuff like that? What is that perception going on over there?
It depends on what part of the country you're in. Remember, Colombia has 5 states, and each state is literally like going into a new country. That's the one
my
thing
brother, I could kind of chime in because I just left Medellin, Colombia within about 2 months ago. I was in Medellin for about 7 months. I can honestly say that if you are proficient enough in Spanish and you just honest and upfront, the opportunity is still there for you to date seriously in Medellin. But I was in Medellin for about 6 months, and I can honestly say that the data situation was kind of different. Like I noticed a slight difference between month 1 and month 6. But like I said, the perception may be there depending on the girl that you meet, but there's always the opportunity for you to break that perception.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I hear a lot about the robbing and drugging thing, and I know Andre had covered that quite a bit on one of his shows.
All right, so this is something I've been meaning to say.
Dave, I thought you was gonna cam up, bro. Hold on, I thought you was gonna cam up for us. You was cam up first.
All right, I got bro.
Right,
I want to hear Andre's perspective on that because he stays there.
Hold on, Yoga. Hold on. Let me catch this. Let me catch that. This $20 super chat real quick by Eric Powell. He says, Aaron, if you're paying all the bills, you're going to have to mark your territory, put boundaries on her and her family. Otherwise, they'll take advantage of you. I've seen so many bros get taken advantage of by their foreign wives. All right.
Can I respond to that for you?
Go ahead, bro.
Shout out to Eric.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things that I did to make sure that didn't happen to me, I looked at my wife's family while I was looking at her. A lot of dudes always go, the woman might be good, she might be the sweetest bear meat, she might be the nicest person, the family might be the sweetest people. But my policy is this: if the family ain't got nothing, then I have to let that person go. If the family does, I kid you not, I judge every woman in South America based off her family, not her. Every single one of them. You guys judge off her. I judge who built and created her, the family. And so my wife's family all own property. They own property in the city, they own property in the country. My wife's family marriages are 30 years, or till death, literally death do you part, where the matriarchs had died. I mean, the patriarchs had died, where on both sides, granddad had died on this side, granddad had died on that side, but grandma and granddad have been married for almost 50 years. Their mindset is different. You got Andrea is not the only college graduate in her family. All these dynamics and career person, all these dynamics in the family made me feel comfortable with these people ain't gonna be begging me for nothing. All these people want to see me do it succeed. So, and also, is the family a great network to help you? When it comes to buying property, I can go to Andrea's uncle. When it comes to, we have a 2020 Equinox. As soon as we bought it, it's a Chevy vehicle. Her brother, Andrea's brother, is the head mechanic for the Chevy dealership around the corner. So anything we're trying to even learn about our truck, you see what I'm saying? If the family can't bring nothing to the table for you, why you with her?
Classism is a thing.
That's my number one. If y'all guys want to get any tip from me, who her family is, like we used to say in the state, who her family is, who his family is. If the family ain't right, I don't care if the family is really sweet, nice people, but they ain't got nothing. They living in a shack. You're gonna pay the piper for joining that family. And so that's why, and he's absolutely correct. The reason why I did that is because, just like Eric, I've seen so many brothers get caught up, falling in love with a female that ain't got nothing going on.
That's facts. That's facts, man.
I like that advice.
I want to welcome Ethan to the show. What's going on, bro? So you have a question?
Yeah, I'm good. I want to ask a question about like how much you guys be spending in Colombia. I want to move to Colombia, and like what is the good amount for rent mostly? That's what I'm concerned about.
Okay, so as far as you're concerned, what kind of apartment you looking for? I definitely say if you're trying to, what neighborhood are you looking for? What amenities? Stuff like that.
I'm looking for like mostly maybe like Medellin, but I want like a decently sized apartment.
But what neighborhood? What neighborhood in Medellin? Because that's where you got to start.
Got you. So I was living close to Mallorca Mega Plaza, in like Loma Linda. I want to try to figure. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like a ballpark of what I should be expecting. But I understand.
I mean, if you're not Poblado, let's just say if you're south of the city in Envigado or Sabaneta, if you want you like a decent 1-bedroom, I say anywhere from 400 to 500, especially if you book initially on Airbnb.
What about like I want something a little bigger than that, like with office space. I want a dedicated workplace, and like maybe another bedroom, maybe like 2 bedrooms, 1 office.
Then, like I said, man, I have high taste in apartments, so I don't really know what your taste in apartment is.
Okay.
You know, but like I said, if you want all of that, I definitely say if you want to live in a nice middle class neighborhood, you know, you always got Berlin, you always got Urellis, and like I said, I mentioned the other 2 towns as well. But if you want to live in Poblado, then things are gonna start getting pricey.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm trying to, move down there, like hopefully February. But I'm just trying to get my rent in order first, figure out how much I want to be spending on rent, because that's like my biggest.
Just look at
expense.
Airbnb. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
What you probably gonna have to do, man, is go down there for like a month and just do your own research. Get you like a person that has a few apartments. I have a few guys that have a few apartments, and then because you really got to go to the apartment and see, because you can get an apartment in Colombia, bro, with a bathroom the size of a refrigerator, but it looked like it's spacious online, right? So the best thing to do is just go out there, get an Airbnb for a month, and within that month, just really do your due diligence and looking for an apartment. Because you're not gonna figure it out online. You want to see the neighborhood that you in. You want to be convenient. You want to be by a grocery store, stuff like that. I like a couple of areas in Medellin myself, but you might not like that area, so you might want to go out there. And depending on your Spanish level, it depends on what comfort level you at too.
True.
Let me catch a super chat real quick by Stefano Demir with the 5 super chat. I really appreciate that. He says Dre is about to tell you Medellin is not Colombia.
That's exactly what was about to come from my mouth. Absolutely, 1,000 unequivocally correct. Medellin is nowhere near Colombia. When you put Medellin, it's just like I always say this. It's like saying I'm going to Las Vegas and that's the United States. And we all know Vegas in Atlantic City is nothing like the United States. So when people say, well, I've been to Colombia, I always ask, where have you been? I've been to Medellin, you ain't been to Colombia. And I'll tell a dude to his face, you ain't never been to Colombia if you've only been to Medellin. Colombia is 5 different states. And I've never seen this before, but Aaron and others that have traveled Colombia can tell you. Every area of Colombia, the food, the language of Spanish, the people, the behavior, the prices, completely different. The infrastructure, the weather, completely different from the other state that you would go to. So if you're in Antioquia, which is the state that Medellin is in, it's completely different from Bayo here in Cali. Completely different. The weather, the clouds, the food, it's food that you get here in Cali that you don't get in Medellin, but there's food in Medellin that you don't get in Cali. So when I sit back and I say, I'm with Aaron, what I was about to say to the brother, if it were me, I would get an Airbnb for a month and not only find the side of the city I want to be in, since it's so inexpensive to fly around Colombia and it's only an hour to get to every major city, within that month, I would go to at least 2 other states. In other words, I would fly to Cartagena and see if that's my area. I would fly to Bogota to see if that's my area. I'll come down here to Cali to see if that's my area. Because a lot of dudes, because I was just like y'all, sold on Medellin. And I was going to Medellin back in 2017 and 15. So I'm sold on, you can't tell me nothing about Medellin. And this before it was all problematic. But then as I start to travel to other parts of Colombia, I start realizing, like, man, I like the coffee region where it's quiet and the farm girls, the country girls treat you like really treat you good. Oh, but I like salsa, so I like the Cali area. I'm telling you, you got the Afro-Colombian areas, the Choco areas you might be interested in.
Which part is that?
Choco is a whole state.
Okay, Choco, that's okay. Got you.
Yeah. So, and I know white boys that have lived in that area. And it's like 98% brothers there. brothers and sisters. So you make sure you don't make the mistake and lock yourself in a year's lease, at least until you go see 2 more cities. I give you a perfect example before I let other guys speak. Carlton Travels, YouTuber out of Medellin, great brother. Carlton had been in Medellin for 2 years.
Carlton,
Everybody knew. You see what I'm saying? Everybody knew Carlton from Medellin. Carlton calls me one day, Dre, I'm moving to Cartagena. I'm like, why? You and Mr. Medellin. And you know, he had so much great information for Medellin. He said, most people don't know this, Andre. I'm an avid sports fisherman. I was like, what? He said, yeah, I'm an award-winning sports fisherman. I've always fished my whole life, from fly fishing to deep sea fishing, blah, 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 blah. He said, even though I'm here in Medellin, he said, I can't be who I am. I'm a fisherman. He said, and I got to fish. So he moved to Cartagena. He called me one day. He said, man, Dre, I got my spot. I'm looking over the ocean. He said, I'm about to go fishing for the 3rd time this week, so forth and so forth. I love it here. I had never heard so much happiness in his voice, even after spending 2 years in Medellin. So that's what my point is. A lot of us use Medellin as our gateway drug into Colombia. But don't assume that that is your place to be, because there may be something about you that might introduce you to other areas of Colombia that you might feel good. Some people like the big city, in the Chicago, like in the New York feel, in the Sao Paulo feel of Bogota. It has that big city. Let's make money. Let's do the political feel. Let's go. Let's rock. You know, the women got their own money. They're gonna take you out to dinner. Everybody dressing jazzy. Everybody like that part, the big city feel. So it depends on what you are into. But don't let. But let me end it with this. Medellin is not Colombia.
Okay, I agree with that. Thank you so much for letting me know. I'm going to definitely go out and explore, and that's a good idea. But I also want to ask one more question. So,
hold up. Before that, I honestly have to piggyback that, because he honestly described my whole experience in Medellin. Like I said, it was the gateway city to Colombia, but upon being there, I always noticed a trend. And one of those trends I always noticed was that I noticed that a lot of brothers, especially like, you know, retired military, such as myself, would come to Medellin. But I always noticed a trend that after a while, like once they got comfortable and the Spanish got up the part, they always branched out to different parts of the country. And I can honestly say the same thing, because, like, in all honesty, out of dating in Medellin, I can honestly say Paisas were maybe about my 3rd to 4th favorite. Because I met girls from Cali, they were different. Barranquilla, they were different. And I met girls from Bogota, and they were just all different vibes. And I actually took a vacation. I actually took a weekend and traveled out to Barranquilla, and I actually liked that area a lot more. So if I was to return to Colombia, I would return, but I will go to Barranquilla, because I think that's more of a city that fits me.
Okay, yeah, that's good. There's one question.
So basically, you know, to find your happiness, to find the girl that you want, to find the lifestyle you want to live, it's going to be based on your personality, basically.
All right, that's good. So this is mostly regarding my work, right? So I do have a remote job, and I think I figured out a way how to like take my remote job to any country I want to, but I have to use a one of these. It's like a travel router. I'm sure you guys are. Yeah, VPN. It's like a VPN router. So.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys recommend like I get the tour guard? So I have 2 solutions.
It's like you're trying to get a little free consultation here, brother. Hold on now. You're asking some experts out here, man. We're gonna have to charge you a few presidentes or something.
He
now,
really is getting consultation questions.
Yeah. I
So here's the thing.
Where I stay in Medellin? Where the mall at, man? How I get a car in Medellin, man?
So,
come on now, bro.
If you guys can link your Patreon, I can definitely sign up and ask you guys. I know, you know, I'm cool with that as well. You know,
we'll let you get one more question though, bro.
Okay.
We'll let you get one more question though.
So with this work, me using like tour guard on this router, because I have 2 solutions. I have like tour guard, like, you know, get a dedicated IP, hook it up, and, you know, set this one as the, you know, the client, and then the other one as a server. And I have another solution. This one is going to work, but it's more expensive. It's more like I leave this one I have two of these, so I leave one of them at with my friend, and then he hooks it up with his internet. Is that going to work? Is my company not going to be aware that I'll be doing this?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be online saying this right now.
But I don't know what to tell you.
Not.
Yeah, man. You know.
You're going to need to talk to an IT security professional for that one, right? Because, I mean, companies are smart, right? Remember, the people who are running IT security, they know their stuff like that. So if you don't, you're spoofing your address is pretty much what you're doing. So, and if the company is aware of it, if they don't want nobody working abroad, you could try it one time, right? Just change your IP address and see if they see it or not. But honestly, talk to an IT security professional. They will probably be able to give you, a much better understanding.
Yeah.
This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. What the ramifications are, or just if your company don't want you working abroad, you can ask them, hey, is it cool while I leave the country? If not, is it worth potentially, losing that position over just, trying to be abroad like that?
Now, okay. I give you a prime example. A friend of mine out there when I was in Medellin, Colombia, lost a real good job with the government because they figured out somehow that he was actually in Colombia. And they tried him too. They kind of gave him a test. They was like, yeah, so, how's the weather? Where you at? And he was like, oh, man, it's cool out here. It's a lot of traffic in Atlanta. And he was like, well, it says you're in Medellin, Colombia. And it was just a wrap. They got him. They got him on by there. So be careful with that. That's all I'm going to try to say.
Okay.
Because guys do get banged. They do have ways, and guys do get banged up. And it's one of them things where you don't know if you should be honest with your employers or you should just, you know what I'm saying? Tell them. You might want to either tell them or get a job where you can work overseas, bro.
Okay.
I mean, because you got to think about it in the field of IT. There's always somebody within your company that's more advanced than you are. So I definitely, recommend, like you said, speak to a security agent to see if you can actually do that, if that's company policy, because you don't want to risk that.
Okay. All right. That's all I want to ask. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, man. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hit Andre up for a consultation now, brother.
I definitely would. Yeah.
I wish I would have.
Man, I wish I would have. all the time, I lost that first year.
Man, he was like, hey, what you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, you want to do a consultation real quick? I was like, what? I was like, man, I got you, brother. So I did another consultation this morning, man, and I do everything streamlined, very detailed, very, very, very thorough. Aaron can tell you because I'll send my information to Aaron what we cover during the consultations, and so I try to be very non-biased because everybody's experience is different, expectations are different, but in general, I try to lay down a firm foundation. One of the things that I would say for you, brother, is this: when it comes to anybody, I'm going to give you a quick free consultation tip, and I've used this one before. I think Aaron has heard me use this one before. I also, what I would do if I were you, your first, I would get an Airbnb for 2 weeks to a month. That gives you enough time to find you a furnished apartment. You want to have your furnished apartment for 2 months to 6 months. That gives you enough time to find your unfurnished apartment and what city you want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how you want to do it. Once again, get your Airbnb for 2 weeks to a month. That gives you enough time to find a furnished apartment, even if it's the Airbnb that you're in. A lot of times you can talk to that person and say, hey, listen, outside of Airbnb, how much would you charge me?
That's exactly what I did. I'll be honest, I wanted to interject because that is exactly what I did.
Yep.
I remember my apartment in Medellin, my first month, it cost me $660 US, but I talked my landlord down to $400 US.
Yeah.
And that was, last year. And the funny thing is, because the dollar is so stronger in Colombia now, it started out at 400, but by the end, it was like 380, 370. And now I looked at the converter again, and that 1.8 mil is a lot less than what I was paying then. So, And that's exactly the route I took.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like Andre just saved you a ton of money because when you get an unfurnished apartment, you're looking at paying damn near half the amount you would be paying with a furnished apartment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for Andre. Out of the 5 states, which one's the more safest?
Each state has this. It's just like saying what state in the United States is the safest state other than Utah or something. It depends on what city you're looking for. I would sit back and I would say easily the coffee region is the safest because they're all small town. I can't say small towns, but they're small cities like Manizales, Pareda, Armenia. They're cities, they're major cities, but they're in the south. In other words, I'm trying to paraphrase it like they're in the south. They're country folk, so you don't hear as much with country folk out there doing some of the stuff that happens in the Medellins, in the Calis, in the Cartagenas, in the Benning. Also, if you're going to live in the regions of the Atlantic Ocean, which is Barranquilla, Cartagena, Santa Marta. Santa Marta, since it's just a little smaller city, you will hear about less issues compared to Barranquilla. But one thing I would, or Cartagena, in other words. But the one thing that I can say about Colombia, and Aaron and anybody else has been here can attest to that have gone around the country, most crimes that take place when it comes to tourists are usually petty crimes. They're very, very. I want your cell phone. I've never been. Nothing has ever happened to me. I've never been in a situation with that. But have I ever been robbed in the States before? A few times. So my point is that you can't sit back and say, "Well, I've moved into an area and there is no crime." It's just it is what it is. But usually, it's a petty crime. Whenever somebody gets caught up and they end up on DC Rob's channel, it's usually I could see that happening with that person. They moved in a circle that they shouldn't have been in. They moved around in a circle of women they shouldn't have been moving around in. They behaved in ways that, like for example, when dudes come out here to Cali, I say stay off the east side. Oh man, but the sisters over there are so fine. That's zone 1 and zone 2. That's the lowest level of living that you can get in Colombia. Stay off the east side, brother. And I had one brother, he was so frustrated with sisters, even though they were so gorgeous. They were begging him. It was always an unsafe situation. Ex-military brother, still lives here, ex-Navy. And for a year, he will always go over there. He finally stopped going over or in other words, putting himself in situations with problematic women. And now he's dating a head nurse. He took my advice about look at the family. The nurse's sister is a nurse. She's an Afro-American sister, by the way. I mean, Afro-Colombian sister. She speaks 3 languages, the female that he's with. But her sister is a head nurse, and her other sister's a doctor, and her mom and dad own several businesses around Colombia. You see how he took my advice, finally, looked at the family dynamic, not just the person, but the family that created the person. And now he's been happily in a positive relationship ever since. In other words, he's not putting himself in unsafe environments. The reason why I haven't gotten got is not because I just got a halo around me, is because I allow this I don't put myself statistically in places, and I don't statistically put myself out there. I know in Colombia, you don't walk around with your cell phone in your hand. So I put it away. It's no big deal. I put it away. But so what some of you dudes do, y'all stand there on the corner waiting for your Uber. Look at, oh, he's gonna be here in 5 minutes. And all of a sudden a motorcycle rides by, snatch your cell phone, and you wonder, Colombia is not safe. Well, you already knew the rule.
Yeah.
You knew that Go ahead.
I don't mean to interject, but from what it's worth, actually being in Medellin and speaking, just having conversations of women of all different types. Clearly, people like us who come from similar environments, I'm able to tell, the bad types from around the way, because stuff like this I was dealing with back in the Bronx. But and in my personal opinion, I really don't believe that most Colombian women, maybe because of how I was raised, that most of them aren't as scandalous or savage as people really build them up to me. I just think a lot of brothers, how do I just say this, are just slow and just lack common sense. Because there's so many times, I'll never forget this one time I was taking a shortcut going to Provenza, and these 2 girls approached me. They was off the cut from Parque Aurelis. They come up to me and they was like, oh, 100 mil for a threesome. And I'm like, and I
Hey,
immediately ran from it.
hey, man, we don't want to go. We don't want to go through that. We don't want to mention stuff
Oh,
like that now.
oh yeah, my apologies. But I was on my way to Preventa, and but the point I'm trying to make is that I was immediately able to tell that that was a setup. And the thing is that if they're so comfortable just trying to get foreigners in that fashion, then that clearly means that there's going to be foreigners that fall for that. And
Mhm.
I just can't fathom how somebody just can't, see the danger right there in front of your face.
I often say that coming to Colombia is like going to a beautiful, beautiful apple orchard, and guys continue to pick up rotten apples off the ground, and because it looks good on one side, they turn it over, see ants, worms, and filth. But because it looks good on one side, they still eat it. And then the next time, then as they walk through that beautiful apple orchard, they continue to pick up apples off the ground, rotten. But just because a little piece of that apple looked just as good as the apples on the tree, they continue to eat it until it destroys an area of their lives. That's what coming to Colombia is. Pick your apples off the tree. There are so many good women down here for you guys. They're just as beautiful as the party girl. Pick you a woman that ain't got time for you. I'm going to say this again. Number 2 on my list, other than family, is pick you a woman, she got something going on. Baby, I can't see you Wednesday, but I'll meet you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Baby, I can't see you at 12 o'clock. Can we do lunch at 2 o'clock because I got to go take care of something? If you with a woman and she can spend all 10 of your vacation days with you, you got the wrong woman.
Mm-hmm.
Let me catch the super chat. Hold on, let me catch the super chats real quick. Anthony Thomas, $10 super chat. He says, "Thanks, BMT. I really appreciate that, man." I got Calix Pierre Louise with the $5 super chat. Okay, you know him, Andre?
Man, that's the super traveler. You need to get that dude on your channel.
Oh, for sure.
You need to interview that brother, man. I'm telling you that, especially when it comes to Europe, a black man traveling through Europe. That brother, he's like Tobias.
I was just about to say that.
I can easily say it's not too many brothers that I could compare Tobias to. And as soon as I heard Tobias' story, I thought about this man right here. I kid you not. This brother, he be getting it in. Southeast Asia, he gets it in. He got the brother receipts are long. So yeah, man, you got to interview that brother. He's an up and coming YouTuber too. I've been trying to get him into YouTube for a while. So he's an up and coming YouTube content creator too. Very professional brother. Started his own business in the States, and his business and other aspects allow him to travel around the world and do have the life that he enjoys. Man, he's a young brother, man. Great energy, and so soon as he popped up, I was like, "Oh, you got to get this dude on your show, man. You really do."
He says, "I'm in South America right now, Cape Town, and I think if you're not being stupid, you should be fine for the most part." All
True.
Right? Good point. I got Baz Clark with the $5 super chat. He says, "What is everyone's thoughts of having kids with women outside of the U.S.?" That's actually a good question.
I'd only recommend it, if you actually plan on having a serious family, and if you was to have a serious family where you actually meet a good woman and you have a genuine connection, I strongly recommend you either live there or at the very least spend 6 months out the year there. Actually be active father in the child's life. And if you're in a relationship with the girl, then still be an active boyfriend, husband, depending on the situation, for that. But I seriously recommend that if you're going to do anything serious, you have to be able to spend large amounts of time in these countries.
Agreed. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're gonna have a child by a woman, man, that's massive. That's just not okay. I'm just dumping some seed off. No, having a child, that's your child. Please be there. I mean,
I see a couple of kids rolling around here with afros, man.
Yeah, so, especially as black men, right? We already
Thailand,
know.
I've seen that.
That's what I'm saying. In Thailand, I've seen a couple of kids with,
I've seen a couple of Blasians out here.
Grego, if you're still in the chat, Grego, I see a couple of cats running around here with afros, with some little, mixed Afro Afro Asians out here.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
my
So
son on the way. Afro.
and that's basically how it is, because first you will have to allow yourself the time to, like Andre said, really get to know the girl and really get to know the family. If you're talking about that, then yeah. But if you want to just be a sperm donor, then go wherever. But if you actually talk about, if you're actually talking about like being an actual dad, then yeah, I definitely recommend. Actually, I just say really learn the language, learn the culture, then go looking for that girl, and vice versa. Because I don't think, like from my personal experience, like as far as positive dating and meeting the right women and building up a nuance to the environment, as far as being in Brazil and being in Colombia, I really didn't pick up true nuance and start getting my feet rolling as far as being in the culture until after month 3. And now I'm experiencing that because now I'm in Thailand and now I'm on my 3rd country, and I'm in my 2nd month. But I'm starting to. It's like life is starting to get a lot more smoother because I done built up to the nuance of the environment.
Okay. Global Passport. You haven't said anything in a while, man. You want to hop in there real quick?
I wanted to ask a question, and any of you guys can chime in. What is this? Because I always hear a lot of the passport bros in the community talking about Medellin. If Medellin is bad because of this whole robbing and drugging thing, why is everybody so fixated on going there?
Because of the women.
The women.
It's the most beautiful concentration of women in the world. That's the simplest question I can the simple way I can answer.
The amount of beautiful women per square foot in Medellin.
There's no beach. All right. The food is okay. The weather is great. The people are great. But to be honest, just to answer straight up, it's the women, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would you guys agree with that? Maybe I don't know. Would you guys?
Yeah, it's the women. It's the women.
Yeah. I think also the notoriety that Netflix had given, through the movies. I mean, through their documentaries, to say that I'm in Medellin. Rappers that are now rapping, coming from the States and doing music
Cameron,
videos.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, doing. Trying to. So all this. And because a lot of people don't realize Medellin is the fashion model capital of South America, where New York has the New York Fashion Week. Medellin has a fashion week. A lot of guys don't talk about the fashion week in Medellin. But some of the top supermodels from all over South America go to Medellin every week, and they have 2 fashion shows at the same time. One is like the tall, slender ones, and the other ones look like what we like, curvaceous women. So it's 2 fashion shows going on both sides of the city at the same time every year in Medellin. So you have these gorgeous women and the handsome men have come down to Medellin throughout history of fashion, and many of them never left. And they gave fruit to the daughters that, many of us are attracted to, in the sense of like, man, goodness gracious, 30, 40, 50 years later, you're seeing all these beautiful, gorgeous women walking around Medellin, and then not including all the women that in their offspring from the country region that go to Medellin from Armenia, because only 2-hour ride from Armenia and all that. So now you got all the beautiful country girls there, all these beautiful people. It's just a city of beautiful women. And so you guys are absolutely correct. At the end, to sit back and say, I went to not just to Colombia, but the Medellin is one of the things that draws guys there. What gets me is not the fact that they are drawn there the first time, the fact that they continue to go there even after they've had problematic situations, such as the passing of the gentleman last week. That was the 57-year-old gentleman. We don't know where he passed of, but we do know that he's told the story several times that he's been drugged more than 2 to 3 times.
And I actually met that gentleman, Nick Flats. That was the one he was referring to. I actually met him. I actually met him on my first day in Medellin, and the very first day, because when I had booked my Airbnb, I had learned that Sweet Georgia and your relatives was only a 10-minute walk. I walked in, I meet him, and we had spoken for about 4 to 6 hours, and he had given me such, like free consultation, basically. While we had the conversation. So he was a very nice guy.
That's what I hear too.
Yeah, Nick was a good dude. I met him in Sweet, Georgia as well. Very sad situation. It might not have been no foul play involved
Yeah, it
because
could just be he was just
everything.
an older dude.
Yeah, I mean, all his things were still there. It was no forced entry or so his laptop was still there, and mainly if somebody did that to you, they're gonna take that laptop. Shout out to Tobias, man, with $10, man. Super chat. He's on the stream, super chat. Shout out to Tobias, my dude Tobias, man.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome.
His channel. And I gotta do another interview about your time in Switzerland too, brother. I was seeing you out there with them blondes. I got
yeah, man. There's a lot more coming. Yeah, like I say, let's see, I just dropped the rest of my Sweden videos. Last one I dropped today. Then I got stuff from Estonia. I got stuff coming from Serbia. I got stuff coming from Norway. A bunch of places. So yeah, it's good times. Good times.
I gotta come out there and holler at you and dust it up a little bit, man. And get my passport Pookie on with you, bro. Ain't have you out there having all the fun now, brother.
Man, there's always fun to be had. Wherever we
Andre know how I get down. I said I bring that ATL dust, a little flavor to the atmosphere. This is your boy again, Andre. Pierre Lewis with the $5 super chat. He says, I'm in South Africa, not South America. Bottle services cost $100 USD. I guess he's responding to somebody in the chat.
No, you had said South America when you had read his first super chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. I meant to say South Africa. We got my dude Eric Powell once again with the $5 super chat. He says, Andre, I'm waiting for your matchmaking services. You would make a killing. Yeah, hook your boy up, man. Hook me up too, bro.
Ever happen. The reason why, because when you're doing matchmaking, you're dealing with personalities. And when you're dealing with something that has to do with personalities and it doesn't work, the first person they're going to look at is, but you hook me up with her. Or you
Andre,
hook me up with him.
Real quick, bro. I got some horror stories of hooking up guys in Colombia with women. They talk so much ish, like they just gonna get it like that. Oh man, you ain't gotta worry about me. And they drop the alley-oop, they drop the ball, and it makes you look bad. It makes me look bad when the guy goes on a date and makes the girl start crying. You feel me? You like, bro, how you drop it like that, man? Oh yeah, bro. I got some horror stories. I got some horror stories.
Made a girl cry.
Oh, bro, yeah, made it. Yeah, hell yeah, I made a girl cry, man. Made my girlfriend I was with at the time, her sister. I'm giving guys all types of alley-oops, man. They blowing it. They blowing it, man, because they get. It's a lot of ways to blow it, man. But guys be blowing it for real. Trust me.
Yeah,
trust me. I'm not hooking up no more guys anywhere.
I got a partner, man. His story sounds just like you. He's out of LA. He came down here to hang out with me, and he was telling how the female in LA who he deals with, she travels back and forth home between LA and Brazil, multimillionaire. The whole family's multimillionaires. Her sister, he sent me a picture of his sister, flawless, right? He said, man, I have hooked 5 different dudes up with her sister, and every one of them dropped the ball. Every one of them. He's that, and so one of the reasons why I don't get with guys, because I don't know your level of thirst, because you might be doing stuff on the thirsty move. I don't know how serious you are about relationship. I don't know your personality. You might be one of those dudes that once a person's in a relationship with you, you're controlling. Like a lot of men in Colombia, as you well know, Aaron, they're very insecure. They're checking their woman's phone all the time. They're texting where you at, even though you know where they're at. And I'm talking about, I know marriages that have been together for 20, 25 years, and the husband is still texting like, where you at. And so I've been asked that question so many times, and me and Andre are like, no, we are not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, man, it happens. I got some hella horror stories trying to hook guys up. I'm telling you, they drop that ball. They drop that ball, man.
Yes, they do in a major way.
In a major way. Shout out to Intake on the $5 super chat. He says, salute Coach Dre. Learn something new. Now I know to get to know the family and the women in my 20s. Did not think about it. That info. Coach Dre is dropping gems. Yeah, you just giving them a sampler. You didn't even get into the real gist of it, man. You just giving them a little sample.
Yeah.
Shout out to your boy again with $10 super chat, man. Pierre Lewis. He says, I'm flying out tomorrow back to London, then jumping somewhere in Eastern Europe. If any bros is anywhere chill, let me know. Thinking Zurich to snowboard first, then to what's that? To Georgia, maybe.
Tbilisi, Georgia.
Tbilisi, Georgia, man. Y'all, man, we got bros everywhere.
That's another cool spot, man. Yeah, a lot of folks they think of Georgia and they think of
where is Zurich at, Tobias?
Switzerland.
Yeah, that's Switzerland. Okay,
that's Switzerland.
Yeah, man, bros, on that James Bond out here, man. Okay, I see you, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, that's why I said as soon as I heard Tobias' story, this is the first brother I thought about. Actually, the only brother I thought about. Him and Tobias' stories are so parallel when it comes to their experiencing in Europe.
Mm-hmm. So, hey, they're asking how they drop the ball. Man, there's plenty of ways to drop the ball. Make the girl cry. That's how I drop the ball.
That's one of them.
If you don't speak the language,
or get too drunk in front of the girls. That's another one to drop the ball. You know, guys get too drunk. I mean, I got all types of stories, man. In most cases, the guys drop the ball though. Every time.
Yeah.
Every single time. You know, I actually had a guy. We were on a double date, and I guess he felt a certain way at some point. I guess they weren't communicating properly, but you know, Colombian women can be real reserved at times. You know, they try to get to know you. They just ask me, then you don't speak Spanish fluently, so it's just like she might not be comfortable speaking the little English that she knows. Bro, he left in the middle of the date. He just went to the bathroom and never came back. You know, I had to try to cover up for him. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what buddy went. I think he might have been sick or something. I don't know what happened. You know, like. All types of little situations, bro. Trust me. I got another super chat by Jazia with a 5 super chat. It says, good to see bros together networking and exchanging ideas. BMT and Andre, could you guys look into doing local food tour guides and reviews? Andre, you did a couple of videos like that, didn't you?
Yeah,
I know. Hey, y'all don't want to look no reviews for me because you know I be doing bugs and stuff in Colombia and Cambodia.
Yeah, I did a couple of those.
I honestly believe that the food is really subjective and up to the person. You know, I've heard people say, you know, Paisa food is horrible, but I found the food in Medellin to be decent.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the food in Medellin. I'm gonna be honest with you. Shit. Shout out to my dude Patron with the 5 super chat, man. He said salute to the panel. That's my dude Patron. Shout out to him, man. He gave me a lot of good information on my first trip to the Dominican Republic. What up, Dre? What up, bro?
What's happening?
I hear somebody in the background will
hold on. Hold on. Apaga. Gracias.
Dre, struggle streamer.
Now about my girl, she wanted to listen in too. We just got back from eating.
Okay.
Practice her English.
Okay, nice, man.
Yeah,
very nice. And you over there in Barranquilla, right?
Yeah, man. Out here on the coast, you know how we do. Well, at least right now, I'll be all over.
That's what's up. Man. So we got my man Dre out there in Cali, Colombia.
What's up, Andre, Tobias,
what's
and
up,
dude from Israel? I don't remember your name. The guy in Israel.
Global Passport. My bad. Let me move this out of the way. Global Passport crew.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, we were just discussing a lot. We were actually discussing a lot of things, but you know, the topic was the passport Tyron. You know.
Yeah, I was watching at the restaurant, man. I was like, man, let's go and get back to the crib. Let's go chop it up with the fellas.
Oh damn.
Speak some English.
Yes, sir.
Y'all got the festival coming up in a couple months, 18th to the 21st, the Barranquilla Festival.
Yep, and you know today a holiday anyway. It seemed like every other Monday a holiday down here.
It is. Andre woke up this morning. Guess what today is? It's a holiday.
It's like every other Monday. It seems like it's a holiday.
Never working.
I got a question, right, for Dre, or Coach Dre, and BMT. Have any of you visited La Guajira?
Out here on the coast, was it south of Santa Marta? Yeah, I've been through there.
Yeah.
All right.
How was that for y'all? Because like I said, I thought about heading out there, like I said, when I return to Colombia, but still gonna see.
It's a lot of us out there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of us out there. It's an interesting little town. is what we'd call it a town. You know, they got a beach out there. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, if you want to travel the country out here and get to see some of the rural areas, especially rural areas that have beaches, that's a good spot.
Yeah, and I like beaches. I like heat. I like humidity.
Yeah, and they definitely got that. And they got it's close to like a charcoal color, blackish kind of sand out there.
All right.
Yeah, we were supposed to do the desert tour out in that area. A lot of people don't realize about Colombia's deserts. So we were supposed to do the desert tour. We had everything set up. We're excited. Pandemic hit, and we had to get a refund because it was a 7-day tour, and it started in La Guajita, and then you went and they just took you by car, and you had your tents and everything. So it was a whole tent in the desert experience, kind of like in the Middle East. And you got a chance to experience the people who lived in deserts out there, and just a whole gambit of another part of Colombia. Because I want to do the desert tour, and then I want to go to the snow-capped mountains and spend some time up there in the snow to showcase that yes, there is snow here in Colombia. It's just that you guys don't know. Nobody talks about going to certain those places, just like dudes don't go to the waterfalls like they should.
Right. They got plenty of waterfalls here.
Yeah.
Same.
Man, you know what I recognize about South America in general? It's like a beautiful landscape. It's like the most beautiful landscapes you'll ever see in the world, hands down. It's beautiful out there in South America. I want to welcome Good Time Grego to the
What's going on, fellas?
What up, man?
What's going on,
I already know what you're gonna say. Stay out of Medellin.
Don't tell them to go to Medellin. It's dangerous, right? Stay out of Medellin, Grego.
It's dangerous. I'm steady to turn y'all around, man. I don't know why y'all keep coming.
I stay away from them when I go to Medellin anyway.
Listen, as soon as I hear English accent, man, I'm walking.
I'm gone.
I'm gone. Listen, I saw four brothers leaving a hotel room. I'm leaving a hotel here. I walked right past it like I was Casper, the friendliest ghost you know. I didn't say
throw the deuces. Hey, what's going on? All right, holla at y'all.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
As a matter of fact, Grego, I'm gonna ask you this question that Global Passport asked earlier. He asked if Medellin is so dangerous and guys are getting drugged and robbed out there, why are people continuing to go back to Medellin, Colombia, even after such an incident like that? Maybe you can answer that.
So are you talking about from the standpoint of somebody who has experienced that, or just the people who haven't?
I think you meant people that experienced it, right? Global Passport crew, or just in general?
In general, but if you got any experience and, if you want to share it, that's fine.
Yeah, I think from a standpoint of the people who haven't experienced it, they just, I know it's so cliche, they know how to move around, you know what I mean? They tend to just keep common sense. Like, I got this saying to say, you are who you are wherever you are, right? So we come from these places in the United States that may not be favorable. I live in Atlanta. Atlanta's dangerous too. So it's things that I don't do here that keeps me out of trouble here, but it's the same sense that I have when I travel to any other country. It's certain things that I just don't do. Like, I'm not going to bring a stranger into my home, that I don't know. I'm not going to allow anybody here to make a drink for me. I'm not going to do certain things that I wouldn't do abroad. But from the standpoint of the people who have experienced it, man, like everybody said, Medellin is a beautiful place. You know what I'm saying? Outside of like that type of behavior or whatever they do, it's a beautiful place. Like, the temperature's perfect, the views are perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's a short flight to get to wherever you want to go. And then I think that people think that it can't happen to me again, but they don't change their behaviors and it could happen again. I'm gonna give you a quick little story. Like, I was in the airport, and I'm gonna try to keep the guy try to protect his privacy. But basically, this guy was in the airport, immigration. He had this big chain on with his name on it, right? So I don't know the dude. I'm just like, hey, you might want to take that chain off before you step outside the door. He hit me with the, yo, I'm from up top. You know what I'm saying? I live around Colombians. They ain't gonna do that. I'm up from New York. I'm like, nah, it's a little different down here, but you got it. So the dude had his name on the chain, right? I told my homeboy Jay Clyde about it. Jay Clyde was like, hey, yo, that's your boy right there. I said, who? He was like, the guy's name. He saw him in the club with the chain on. Next morning, I'm going to the place that we go to, Aaron, to go get our breakfast most of the time when you're in town. Mm-hmm. I see the dude standing on the corner with his luggage, no chain. I'm like, yeah. One day in now, I'm like, yo, what up, man? He's like, man, I'm getting up out of here, man. I don't like it down here, man. This ain't right, man. Whatever. He said, I ain't never coming back. So that was one situation where the dude wasn't gonna come back, but he had information in the airport that he didn't listen to. So, but I mean, other than that, man, I think people think that it won't happen to him again, but they continue to make the same mistakes, and it happens over and over again. But it's I hate to say it, but it's like a magical place. I don't know what it is about Medellin that makes people just want to continue to come back even after bad things happen to them. But just for me, temperature, because I hate to be hot. I love the views. The people are nice. I can understand their Spanish there because they speak a Spanish that if you're not that great at and you're learning, they will speak it slow enough and I guess close to perfect enough for you to understand. So like it's an easier place for me to understand Spanish and to pick up on it. But other than that.
Can I jump on next then? As that brother who had that terrible experience, I can see myself going back, but I'm gonna move very, very differently now. Like how I was even inspired to hit Medellin was looking at Cat Rami travels videos, right? I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go get out here, shoot content, and be one, enjoy myself. You learn that hard lesson again. Now, can I see myself coming back? Yeah, but then again, like I said, I'm gonna talk to Andre, right, big time, and make sure I have all my P's and Q's right. Make some, cross my T's, dot my I's before I arrive. Because I mean, I've talked to cats also, and they're like, "Oh, you were just slipping. You were just a square." And I'm like, just because you think you know the streets where you come from, them streets are different. You don't know that game. Oh, well, no, you don't. Just like I can't go to your hood and tell you what it is, can I? Well, no, exactly. You showing up to, some spot, like, and like Good Time Greg was talking about, you rocking that chain. Now, like, I go out, I usually rock suits and all that. I brought a suit with me and when I went to Medellin. And I'm a big part of it. I took this chick out on a date, like right before I left, but we went from hotel, restaurant, back, right? Just hanging out. I'm not about to be walking around like, Parqueyeras or, Laureles in a suit like that, because you're going to stand out. You make yourself a target. And your ego can cause you to, your ego is not your friend, right? A lot of us, that ego will set your ass up, probably for that ultimate downfall. And as he said, homeboy was on the corner the next morning, no chain in his suitcase, like, bro, I gotta go. Right?
Dream deferred.
It's real, right? I mean, it's real. Like me, I'm running around the world. I would have been thinking about not using Tinder in Colombia, because I've used it in every other country that I've been in, and found out the hard way. Hey man, nah, dog, don't do that. It's definitely a different beast out here. You better ask somebody before you get out there. Don't just assume.
Yeah, I gotta call Grego out though, man. Grego, we was in some sticky situations. We was in Medellin, brother. We was all at people's houses in Colombian neighborhoods, 3-4 in the morning, drinking bottles.
We quick story. We were celebrating a birthday, and we just had too much. We needed to get rid of some of the liquor, so there was a birthday party at the table next to us. I was just like, hey man, pour this some shots out this bottle. Those people was like, you have to come to our house tomorrow. And I looked at Aaron, I was like, all right, you want to go? I was like, so we went. Man, we was in barbed wire, like we don't even know where we were, like somewhere deep off in
Don't do this. This is that passport Pookie stuff we talking about. Don't do this.
Don't do this. Don't do this, guys. But we felt like we had a SEAL Team 3 to go off in this place. And we ended up having a good time, man. It was
6, 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning with the whole entire family. It was dope.
And like they really appreciated us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we brought them a bottle. They had a nice little party. They gave us like party props to put around our necks and stuff like that or whatever. And it was a dope situation. Like, honestly, the family turned out to be pretty cool. That was on our side or whatnot. Like the dad was like a taxi cab driver. Drove me around the next day. He was like, man, you don't have to pay for another ride, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But they turned out to be cool, man. I still keep in touch with them, you know what I'm saying. Like another person that was with us, it was the girl's birthday, so they gave her a cell phone or something like that, and they thought the world of it. Yeah, iPhone. So like, it was just a dope experience, man, to get to know like actual people that live there that probably have never experienced anybody in their homes like that. That was a gringo as well. Actually, she told us that they never had anybody outside of the country in their home. So it was an experience for them as well. I don't recommend that to everybody because, you know, luckily, you know, good people, but I mean,
but that goes to show you that if you're gonna do something like that, the safest way to do it is that you're visiting a family. Usually families are safe. Now, let's put you in that scenario and you're going to visit a chick herself.
Facts.
And you don't know if she got 3 dudes up in that house.
Facts.
That's different. So even as bougie as I am, I'll go see a family anywhere because I understand the family dynamic here in Colombia. They're like this. We're very humble people. We don't have much, but what we have, we share with anybody. So I understand the family dynamic is way more statistically. Let's put it like this. I have not heard of the scenario where a family drugs somebody or a family robs somebody. It's usually on a individual basis or a basis where it's 2 girls, or in other words, it's usually a dating situation, or you see what I'm going with that? Something has to do with intimacy type of situation where dude think he's going to have sex and then all of a sudden he ends up in a problematic situation. But normally here in Colombia, when it comes to families usually are the ones that got your back and will look out for you no matter whether you're in zone 1 or zone 6. So I could easily see even myself in a scenario with families compared to if I'm going to see her in her zone 1 area and I'm just going to see her instead of going to see a family.
And Andre, it's a piggyback off of that. That wasn't even an intimate situation. It was just we didn't want to waste. I'm saying it was just like it was the whole family, the mom, the dad, the dad's girlfriend, like they all came together for like you know what I'm saying? So like that was the even cool part of it too. Before anybody said, "Oh, they're making a dumb decision for a girl." No, nobody was on the intimate. No. These people were just like, "We want to welcome you into our home for taking care of us at the restaurant." You know what I'm saying? And then like they did something the next day that was pretty cool too. I don't know, like they met up. They showed me like an amusement park and all this kind of stuff. They started showing me different things around the Colombia that you wouldn't see. Well, Medellin that you wouldn't see. In the tourist areas. So like, and then even still to this day, they're like, whenever you're in town, just hit us up. Like, we'll show you some other things or whatnot. So like, I mean, those are genuine relationships that I think that people build and maintain that most people don't talk about because they want to talk so negatively about things, but there are some positive things in there as well.
Oh yeah. Even on the you know, Colombians like to get away on their holidays and you know, when they're having stressed out moments and things like that, they like getaways, but they don't go to where we go. Like for example, Cartagena is for Colombians is only for weddings and honeymoons. Colombians going the complete opposite than where we're going. So when you
same thing with Poblado.
When you sit back, you think where we're going is the place to be. Colombians know spots all over their country that you like. I didn't know this was here. I didn't know they had this here in this city or that in this city. Like for example, we got 2 major golf courses here in Cali, Colombia. If you're a dude that don't play golf, you wouldn't even know that. We got 3 beautiful bowling alleys here in Cali, Colombia. So if you're a dude that's bowling, and the Medellin got bowling. But if you're a dude that's not in you wouldn't know. We got water parks out here that's just like the water parks that we used to have in Orlando. But you would not know those things. These are the places where Colombians go to. Not to it's a holiday. Let's go to Cartagena. No, let's go to Barranquilla. No, that's what we do. But Colombians do the exact opposite. They know where all the fun things are to do here in their own country, and we really don't know anything.
That's facts. That's facts. Well, guys, we've been here for a minute. We almost at the 2 hours and 30-minute marker. It's like 5 a.m. here in Thailand. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. I appreciate everybody joining the panel. This is a real good discussion, man. You know, we had a little fun in the beginning with the passport Tyron, but I hope you guys got a lot of valuable information. Guys, you can check out everybody's channel. Everybody has YouTube channels on here. Good Time Gregos, Dre the Kid, Tobias the Traveler. Tobias, we gotta do a real interview real soon, man. I checked out some of your content. Andre, good looking on that video about the Colombian visa as well, bro. That was some real good information. Very good information you gave out on that video yesterday. And shout out to Global Passport Crew. He's out there in Israel. I haven't met too many brothers out there in Israel, so we all over the place, guys.
Hey man, I don't have no YouTube, by the way.
Okay, so once again, man, I appreciate
Why
y'all
not
joining the panel.
Why not?
Hey, man, Drake got all types of little content. He sent me his videos, but he'll put it online.
Hey, Global Passport, where you at in Israel?
No, I'm not in Israel. I'm back in the States. I'm in Arizona, but I lived in Israel for 3 years.
All right, cool.
All right, guys. So appreciate y'all joining the panel. Peace, family. We out.
Peace.